I dream of a digital India where quality education reaches the most inaccessible corners driven by digital learning, says our Prime Minister. It's my pleasure to welcome and introduce the speaker for this session, Dr. Anitha Mabel Manohar, Professor and Director of National Institute of Fashion Technology, Chennai. Dr. Anitha has her PhD from Avinashi Lingam University for Women. Her profound knowledge in fashion technology has made her publish national and international journals, which has added on to her professional affiliations as a guide and scholar to many students. She is the recipient of Bharat Vidya Shiromani Award in 2017 by Indian Solidarity Council for outstanding achievements in the field of education. Technology won't replace teachers, but teachers who use technology will probably replace teachers who do not use it. Dr. Anitha Mabel, an eminent speaker, is here to enlighten us on the role of teachers in the digital age. On behalf of the management, our principal, the Department of Commerce of Auxilium College, I welcome you, Dr. Anitha. A warm welcome once again. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes. It's echoing, ma'am.
Yeah, is the volume okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I know you've given me such a high-tech title, but I'm just going to speak to you practically. If, coming from a home science background, working in a home science college, then getting into Nift, and my 25th year at NIFT Chennai. From being a professor, now as a director. And see, digital and all those technology terms is not what I'm going to speak about. I'm just going to take you through a journey of life where each of us who have become teachers, who started our career as a teacher, what was our dream and what was our goal, how we were qualified and how we became a teacher. When we got into hardcore teaching, what really happened on the real platform? What are the kind of emotions that we went through with students, fellow colleagues, and of course, updating our knowledge. And then in the journey of being in a cliched college, then coming into a premier fashion institute like NIFT, to mold and to evolve ourselves and to look at students with a totally different perspective. Each individual today coming in as students into institutions, whether it's a design institute or whether it is a college under UGC or AICTE, each student today is empowered. They're technologically sound. They're already one up on us with information. When everybody thought about how a teacher should look like, we all thought of a teacher who would dress up well and come to a classroom. Today, COVID-19 has brought a reality straight onto our faces. And that is that we have to deal with students and with subjects in the most empathetic and, of course, being technologically sound, equivalent or better off than our students. Enabling students to use their real life experiences, enabling them to look at probably even innovative materials which are indigenous. And I'll show you some of it while I go through my journey of what I'm speaking. And when everybody thought of a teacher, they thought of a young lady who comes into a school or a college and who's well-dressed and things like that. So I want to also in my speech, while I'm speaking, show you a small video of how people can become a teacher at any age, provided you have the conviction and the commitment. In COVID-19, I think we saw a lot of images which went on media. We saw what our students could become. In every college, whether of every participant here, irrespective of the subject, did we prepare our students to get into the real world to face a situation like this? Are they ready for jobs? What are the amalgamative jobs that could come to them if we had prepared them, and did we prepare them? Yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine whose grandchild, who's in first standard, was going to do his online classes for the very first time. And all of them were sitting and the teacher was giving instructions. And so the child was asked to press this button and press that button. And finally, when the teacher started speaking, I believe all the children started speaking to each other. Hey, what were you doing? What was I doing? And what kind of a toy did you buy? And did your mother let you go out? And things like that. So when the teacher said, see, you have to mute, all of you shut up and mute. I have to speak and I have to teach you. Then the students said that, ma'am, you please mute first, because we need to catch up with each other. We haven't seen each other for 3 months. So this is the generation of students that we are teaching. And I want to tell you, my dear friends who are with me in this talk today, I'll show you the small video. If I think somebody is helping me operate my images.
Yes.
If you can show that first video, image 1 of that elderly lady. So then we'll get into discussion and then we'll go on to the other images.
Image of an elderly lady. Right?
Yeah, the image 1 that is.
One second. So we received images of that innovative dresses and
that is
back.
image 2. Yeah, that's image 2 and 3, I think. The image 1 is the YouTube.
The BBC World Service, is that one?
Yeah, yeah.
The Lakshmi Kalyana Sundaram. Is that one?
Yeah, image 1.
One second.
Yes, Dinesh, that
Yes,
one only.
One second.
Yes. Yes. Dinesh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just doing them. 1 second, please. Give
Yes.
me
The YouTube channel.
I have this one Lakshmi Kalyana Sundaram.
Yes, that one only.
1 second. Is this the one, ma'am?
Yes, please play it.
How nice to meet all of you. No. It's only. I never worked, so I had all the energy. Even to do it at the age of 67. I just wanted to get out and meet people.
How old were you?
1948, this is Goa.
You had just washed your head.
Yes. First of all, I myself had all these aspirations. I wanted to become a doctor and look after the sick people. But in those days, the girls had very, very limited rights. But this thing, half the dream is being fulfilled, isn't it? I am helping these children who have no other this thing. I have to be satisfied with that, isn't it? See? I am very, very happy the way women who want to come up, they have their independence, because we don't have any Y chromosome in our house. I have 3 daughters, 5 granddaughters, 2 great-granddaughters. The youngest great-granddaughter, she beats everybody. Let me see what God thinks, Every night I pray, God, let me not get up tomorrow morning. Every morning I get up, make my coffee, so that is it. Whatever God wills, that's it, nothing else. And I'm very happy with my family.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. See, in this visual, what touched me most, which was moving around during this COVID period, is that when all of us thought that we were so self-content and we were sitting back at home and we thought we got our salaries, we also looked at a different dimension of life. Of course, this elderly lady had gone to a school for special children. And today our society is budding with multiple numbers of special children. We at Nift Chennai also have a lot of special children to whom we cater. My dear colleagues, as the industry is big, the world is booming, and COVID-19 has come in. Unless all subjects and all areas of knowledge come together, jobs for the next generation is going to be difficult. Commitment to being a teacher, like the mindset of that elderly lady, is going to be our challenge. As we were going through all the assignments at NIFT, we always noticed that design students thought that they should buy the best of material, and there was always competition, peer pressure, and then there would always be people copying each other or stealing each other's assignments. Today we have a set of students who are sitting at their homes, completed assignments, looking at the reality of life. One of our faculty inspired students by using a real life situation, which is my image number 2, the person on the cycle. Can we just play that? The image with the person on the cycle.
Dinesh? Dinesh, are you there?
Yes, I'm doing. Just a second.
Yes.
Because it's from WhatsApp to Gmail to sharing, and it takes a bit time. So 1 second. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, so what we're going to see in this image, yeah. Yes, yeah. Thank you. So this is capturing real life situation, empathy, putting it into technology, and making digital presentations. This is the work of one of my art faculty, Mr. Uday, and I think all credits go to him for doing that. Now that is one scene that all of us had noticed during the migrant workers movement. And how many of us are able to put this into each of our subjects and convert them to assignments? For an English teacher, it could be empathy. For a poetry teacher, it could be poetic. For an art teacher, it could be visual. And for people who want to teach, maybe put in moral values into students, you could completely put it into a storyline, a film, or probably a digital, maybe capturing of images, so that it conveys the strongest meaning and touches every soul. And I'm extremely happy that my faculty picked up that attribute and that empathy from society and converted it into an assignment. He has already placed it on Instagram, and many of the journalists have already seen and appreciated him. So this is what we convey to our students. Design is not the only area where we capture empathy and make our students more socially answerable. I have another assignment with the blue dress. Can we just play that?
Yes. The blue dress, the girl, the small girl.
Yeah, the small girl, yeah.
Yeah, one second.
Yeah, maybe we can open the images.
Yeah, it's visible now. Is it visible?
I think we'll have to open up the images. Okay, if all the participants are able to view that.
Is it visible?
No, Dinesh. No.
Okay,
No.
one second.
Visible only very little.
Yeah, one second. I'll just do again.
Make it a bigger one.
You can zoom the screen, it's visible.
One second.
Make it a bigger one.
Is it fine now? No.
No.
Okay, if the participants are able to see that, I think on the first slide we have the milk sachet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share again.
Mr. Dinesh, we are able to see participants. If you want, everyone can zoom their screen. They can see it clearly.
Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah, so what we are seeing here is an assignment that we at NIFT have given to our students for sustainable studies. Now, taking this situation of COVID-19, I think initially everybody thought it was a big holiday. Then the reality was to complete our semester. And then what better platform could we have than allowing students to use their indigenous material? So here was this teacher who inspired the students to use plastic, any throwaway material that was sustainable and available at home. So this student, there are two students here. One has made a bag. If you see the red outline, the blue one is the dress which is made out of the milk bag. So here in this situation where we couldn't do our skill directly in a classroom, we have made students to work at home using indigenous material, converting them in cleverest forms and formats, making them into bags, apparel, or any everyday use item, and of course, making a storyline and a justification of their design brief that was given to them. So this is how we could inspire them. And if we thought that if students didn't come to a classroom and we couldn't finish our semesters, this was beautiful, a wonderful experience for us to see students make their own workstations at home, and of course, adapt to a very, very different situation that COVID-19 has led us to. And I would like to interact with maybe many of the other subject audience sitting here, who are listening to me. And I'd like to know how you inspired your students and how you thought that you could complete your semester. So probably we could have a learning process between two different institutions. Is there anybody who would like to share?
Participants. Dear participants, anybody would you like to share?
Especially, I think COVID-19, the scenario for all institutions would have been extremely different. For those of you who are teaching theory-based subjects, of course, you finish it online. For those of you who are doing skill-based, did you bring real-life situations into your classroom and assignments? I would be happy to listen to you.
Those who like to speak, you can switch on your mic and then you can just speak.
Ma'am, actually, I'd just like to share one thing. So in this COVID time, right, I use this as an opportunity to do a lot of webinars and certificate courses. And then after posting in my got inspired, and they also attended a lot of programs. And they, in fact, they told me about a lot of programs which is coming, and I attended that also. And teaching the subject, yes, every day, every student, I would make them to tell about some motivation, whatever they wish, and every student will tell. So in that way, every student was able to get inspired and share their thoughts, and everybody wished to come to the class, because otherwise getting in all the children for online class, it's very difficult. But I gave the responsibility to them itself. So now everyone, they want to contribute something, and I almost completed. I'm a school teacher. I almost completed, and out of 10 units, I have completed 5 units in a matter of 1.5 months, which is very, very fast. So in that way, I was happy. It's a synergetic effect, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think the COVID situation was also advantageous to all the teachers because we got empowered. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Technical skills and yes, yes. Anybody else who would like to share?
Madam, in fact, without examples, marketing cannot be taught. I teach them services marketing, business marketing, marketing management, and other subjects. What I've seen is that without practical exposure, without telling them good stories from news or from any other current scenarios, probably the lecture would be very boring and not connecting, especially. So in fact, in this COVID time, I have been using this as a WebEx meetings or Zoom meetings or even YouTube channel. I've done it vigorously and students have liked it also. So that is without any doubt that you give examples and you win the heart of students. And of course, you treat them as your extended family, not as only somebody who is, one-sided dialogue only.
Yes.
You give them love, affection, they will be with you always. And they'll treat you as their, person to whom they can consult their problem. Probably they will not talk to parents also. They'll talk many issues with you as a teacher, mentor, if they feel comfortable with you. So first thing is that make them comfortable with you and emotionally attached also. And then give them good stories of marketing. They will love that.
Absolutely.
Because if you see yourself also or anybody individual, when we talk things through stories, through events, that have a lasting impact rather than just telling them nature, scope, functions as per the syllabus.
Absolutely. See, in fact, like how we did it with our art and design assignments, each of you could translate probably everything that's being shown on media. Some are empathetic, some are where students can really actually, if we have trained them well, they can go and participate and probably do a little bit more of social work. Many of their assignments, I wish that all institutions had made their design briefs or their assignment briefs to revolve around what they had seen in reality between March and probably until the 30th of June, which is going to be our lockdown. And that's going to be a beautiful experience. Another thing that we have come, which we will all be noticing, is that students in a classroom will always have competition in terms of socio-economic status and also the method of inspiration. So what happens when we, in a situation like this, when you give them a real life example or a real life situation, each of them will come from, suppose you have students from Jharkhand to Kanyakumari. Each of them have a material that is indigenous to their place. Each of them have a situation that is special to their place. So for the teacher, and most of us in the institute, we are so cliched in our ideas. We think that if we've given an assignment, it will be within this boundary and it has to look like this or like that. And we'll expect a certain external appearance to it. But now in COVID-19, I think that each of us as teachers have enabled them to make their own work platforms, to collect their own material, to make their own life stories. And that becomes a beautiful sharing point for the entire class, because here you're cutting across gender, you're cutting across socioeconomic status, you're cutting across what is best and what is not so best, because you're not able to touch and feel them. And I think that's been a really wonderful experience. Is there any other faculty who would like to share their experience?
Just one point I just like to add. So apart from that, what I did, see the significance of the day. For example, yesterday was Mr. Wasim Akram, a cricketer's birthday. And for today being World Environment Day, so I was just facilitating the students, and they were able to do a good job. The significance of birthday. For example, next week is Mr. Sundar Pichai's birthday. So their children were able to know a lot of other things and how they can excel in their life skills about inspiring stories.
Yes. No, that is exactly, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And I think many of us have also introduced our counselors to the students through online. So as one gentleman just now spoke, saying that, we are more than mentors to students. So this opportunity we have used to do interpersonal relationships with students and probably to empathize with them in case they're feeling lonely. Many of them don't even share with their parents. So I think that has been a really wonderful time, where we've also got to know our students. We spent quality time with them because we were not crowded with students in a classroom. We could speak to them individually. Yeah. Any other faculty who would like to share, probably maybe suppose literature or architecture, where you have used a real life situation and brought out something extraordinarily new?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Dr. Shashi from Varanasi. I'm a commerce teacher. And we used to participate in a regular days. We used to participate in state level or national level competitions. So we did not leave these chances also with the students. Students have participated, like for business planning the post-COVID situation, and for studying the daily fluctuations in Indian economy, as well as what is happening around the international boundaries. So they are observing and they are relating to their chapters, and they are actually studying in the practical manners, because many of the things are happening nowadays. So they are actually studying and they are making it noted in somewhere with their practical experiences. That is happening actually daily, and we are having a discussion over the classes also. In a part of class, we used to discuss everything.
Yes. And I think today most of the students also have mobiles. So 95 to 98% of your students may also be able to log in and be part of the classes. Maybe there may be connectivity problems where the teacher has to modulate and probably, reorient certain sessions for the benefit of those students. Yes.
Yes,
anybody else? Anyone from architecture or art would like to contribute in this conversation?
Madam, I am Prabhakar. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, yes, yes.
I am Prabhakar. I am teaching in IFM College, Bangalore.
Yes.
I belongs to Commerce Department. I am one of the internal auditor of our institution itself. So whatever the internal auditor, whatever I am finding out in the auditing, same thing I am teaching with the students when I am teaching auditing subjects. So it's a real-time example I am providing. And not only that, apart from that, maybe you may see the Google Doodle they are releasing on the special occasions. So every day I'm sharing with students, today what is the day? Have you seen the Doodle, Google Doodle? And also what is the special news today? Everything I'm sharing, I'm asking, I'm sharing with them. So this is also enlighten the students about what is happening in the world around us also. This is what I am doing.
Are you able to entwine it in your assignments so that you're able to bring more empathy into students?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. We are doing. I am doing. Based on the current scenario, so what is happening in the world, we are providing some assignments to them so that they are interestingly participating and doing the assignment also.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you,
any
madam.
other faculty from any other architecture or art or any other background? Or even literature? Anyway, see, my communication with you as a head of a design institute, also being a faculty until probably 7 years ago, and how time has changed, how COVID-19 has become an eye-opener to each one of us. So in my visuals, I just showed you that there is no barriers to be a teacher, whether you become a teacher at the age of 67 and you're still contributing productively, positively, with commitment and conviction and motivating children at the age of 91. Or whether all of us were 24 when we got into our jobs. Today we had to suddenly transform because of the COVID-19 situation, because many of us were not online teachers. We were teachers who were face-to-face, and we were looking at material, we were touching and feeling, and we were talking proportions and measuring them when we gave assignments. But today we transformed into online teachers. But in the online teaching, how positive we became, how our observation across what is happening in the world, how we captured them, put them into assignments, gave them as motivation to the students, and of course, probably brought the best out of them. I think COVID-19 is no more a distressing situation. It's a situation that empowered us in many ways. I think all of you as teachers will agree with me, because you're using it in your teaching, in your real life experiences with your students. And probably the next thing that all of us will have to work hard on is how to amalgamate subjects, how to put them together and make professionals out of students that we are dealing with. Each of us come from different faculties of study, and each of us will have to, we have a burden to help our students with placement. So how do we put them together? How do we create new jobs for them in a situation that's going to be tough in the next 1.5 to 2 years? And probably if there's anybody else who wants to speak.
Yes, ma'am. This is Kumurali from Erode. I'm assistant professor in the Department of Management Studies at Vivekananda College. Actually, we had a system of mentor and mentee. That is 20 students per one staff. So usually we used to do, we conduct the hangout meet alternative days. So I gave an assignment for my mentees, like create a video, audio video, that is AV for their mothers on behalf of this Mother's Day. So what I said is, better you take a selfie with your mother and send it to my WhatsApp number. The every students have sent it to me. So I created an AV video and I contributed to their family members. So after within a couple of days, I could see the happiness in the face of their mother. So it's created a socio-economic diversification with among the students. That is number one, the activity I have done it. And one more is the acronym. The student have to create an acronym for the college name, that is Vivekananda. V means victory, I for identity. Same like each and every student has created a letter with acronym, and they have created a photo, that is individual photo, and sent it to my WhatsApp number. Then I have created a whole video for the total number of mentees, and I have presented to the students. So these two activities we have done it to create themselves with the integrity and interpersonal skills among the students. So it went very well, madam. If possible, I can share the video also if you permit.
You have it with you right now?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, if it's a short one, probably we can see it quickly.
Yeah, right.
So in the meantime, if anyone wishes to share, you can share until she get ready. Until she gets ready with the video, if anyone would like to share, yes.
Yeah, this is Ruby Martin.
Yes.
Actually, I work the social work department, and during the lockdown, I just wanted to tell my students that since we have different specializations, so I asked my students to work out on what would be their role as an HR during the lockdown with the industries. As a medical social worker, what would be their role as medical social workers? And as a community organizer, how she is going to bring about an awareness in the community. And it was really amazing to see that they came out with such good points, because not all of them are very good in the language also, but then they really worked on it and they brought it out, and they also brought out good pictures, hand drawn pictures of COVID-19 and awareness, what awareness could be created. So I mean, it was really working with them during this lockdown.
Yeah. And also one thing that I have noticed while I'm...
May I, ma'am?
Yeah. No, while I was...
Is it audible?
Yeah, please speak.
This is Jay Kishan Bhardwaj calling from Kurukshetra University. I have another assignment of a warden in the university campus beyond teaching assignment. You know, I was trying to convince the student that beyond as a student identity, they have social responsibility too. And since they are a student, they are also son. they're also brother, they're also family member. They should work hard to survive. They should contribute to the family, and beyond educational world, they should contribute in the home, in a homemaking.
Yes, yes.
And they should work at home, like in gardening, in another homely homemaking work, and it was resulted positively. Some students are matlab, uh, responding me that they had done this, they had done this, they had done this. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, no, actually, so COVID-19 really broke social borders, mindsets. It really has changed a lot of people. Like just now, I just heard from you, from the earlier person who spoke, that I don't think earlier these children would have even bothered to go to the garden or contribute to anything that is in the home. So COVID-19 has brought a turning point. And this, I think we have to bring into our education and our education system as well. I think we're waiting for a video to be played.
Dr. Pungurali, you can play.
Are we ready with the video?
Yeah, she's sharing the screen, but ma'am, Pungurali ma'am.
Sir, can you able to see it?
It's not played yet.
It's playing me, huh?
So it may be for ma'am's screen it is playing, sir. For others, it's not able viewable.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Yes. It's
yeah,
playing.
It's
playing,
it's
ma'am.
visible. Yeah. Yeah, I think we just now saw it. Are we waiting for it?
Can you able to see?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Really nice. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah. So
This is what we did for the Mother's Day special.
yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was really nice. In this visual that I just saw, I just want to share one thing with all of you, and I think all of us must have experienced it. Many of these children, whether they're in school or college, they feel very embarrassed when their parents come to meet us. I think this is such a beautiful assignment that you have given them. One is when they're looking at the media and looking at the news every day and looking at how people were suffering, especially the migrant workers, and how COVID was affecting many people across the globe, how families were reacting to it. I think it's the best thing that has happened to our children, that they have been sitting at home, of course, getting technologically sound, attending their online classes, converting their reality and real life situation into an assignment. Like, for example, this teacher has motivated them to do on Mother's Day. And I think many of these children would have not otherwise not been proud to express their feelings to their mothers or to show us pictures of them standing together, because there's a difference in generation. And they also think, you know, of the profile of how this child is dressing versus the mother and whether it's acceptable. Today, as I mentioned earlier, gender differences, socio-economic barriers, empathy, everything has been blended together for each student. And I wish that every specialty, whichever subject you all are teaching, please weave it into your syllabus, weave it into your assignments, so that children come out and they become more free and better individuals for our country. Is there anybody else who wants to share? Because I have one last video which will show that COVID situation is a situation that came to us by surprise. But then we are able to overcome it. There was fear. We all thought that we'll be attacked and we'll be no more. And we didn't know whether we'll have our jobs, our homes, and our organizations. But then we're almost overcoming it. So I just have one small video for the end. Now, before that, if there's anybody else who wants to speak, we'd like to listen to you. Anybody else? Okay. So if there's nobody else, we'll go on to that last video, which is the Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix. Mr. Dinesh, can you help me?
Pardon, ma'am, come again. You want a video?
Yeah, the last one, the Grand Prix.
Yeah, yeah.
I have one, image 4.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. The Mercedes-Benz one?
Yeah, yeah.
(1962). The Argentinian
Yeah, that's the one.
Grand Prix begins. One of the world's toughest races, attracting the world's toughest men. Only 43 drivers made it to the end. And one of those drivers made history. The first driver to finish 3 hours before everyone. And the first driver to prove women could win the Grand Prix. Me, Evie Roosquist. They say I could never finish, so I finished first.
You're not able to see the video. Yeah, Mr. Dinesh, can we see the video? We couldn't see the video.
Yeah. Actually, it was playing to me, so I'll just play once again. Once again.
Yeah.
In 62. The Argentinian Grand Prix begins. One of the world's toughest races, attracting the world's toughest men. Only 43 drivers made it to the end. And one of those drivers made history. The first driver to finish 3 hours before everyone. And the first driver to prove women could win the Grand Prix. Me, Evie Roosquist. They say I could never finish, so I finished first.
Thank you. There are two conclusions I want to draw from this. One is, as I end my interactive discussions with you. One is not to discriminate the men, but to say that in any difficult situation or in any new situation, knowing, not even knowing what the end is going to be, women will always stand strong. I'm not saying it because I'm a woman, and I respect every gentleman who's here with me as a participant, but COVID-19 is an extremely new situation. Look at all the visuals we see in the WhatsApp. Mothers doing online jobs with a child lying down on her lap. We've seen mothers doing so much and yet being ready there for their online classes or their online meetings, whatever. Thank you for the men who support us and who make it so digitally possible for us. Point number 2, COVID-19 came to us by surprise. That was the first Grand Prix, the video which we last saw. Did that lady know that she didn't even know her terrain? See, normally when we know a game or a competition, we know, okay, this is how to dodge. That will be a rough patch. This will be an easy patch. This will be low speed. That will be high speed. In the first ever Grand Prix, when the technology of those cars was not so great, yet there was somebody, whether it's a woman or a man. Right now it was a woman who won, but remember that she won and she was ahead by 3 hours. If all of us, all participants, my dear friends, thank you for being with me in this session. If each one of you and me can work for India and to help this lockdown and this COVID situation and take our students along with us and our institutions with us, we will go great heights. We will be 3 million times and 3,000 times stronger, greater, more professional, far ahead than every other country. And I think ultimately we work for every brick, which is our student, who builds the foundation and a fabulous building that's our country. Thank you very much. And I'm really happy to have interacted with each one of you. I really didn't know how this talk is going to be. I picked up a few visuals and I got you to speak. I enjoyed listening to each one of you. And just like the Grand Prix, we will all end the race being winners. We will be far ahead than every country. We don't fight institutions inside India. Not that you will be better than me or I'll be better than you. We'll all hold hands, we'll work together. COVID-19 has brought us together. Auxilium College, I never even knew would call me to speak or interact. And I'm thankful that I got this evening to share with you. We will win the Grand Prix as India, as one country. We will be successful. Each of us will lead us, our students, into bright, strong citizens and leaders of this country who we will all be proud of. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dinesh?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Yeah.
Please ask participants if anyone is having any queries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the participants.
Maybe we can have some queries. I mean, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
And probably we can share our experiences of different institutions.
So it was one of the shortest session in the last 4 days. So thank you so much, ma'am. So the afternoon, and so it will be more of a Q&As. So if the participants, as anyone would like to ask any questions or share your experience, so you can just share. So ma'am will be with us for next 10 minutes. So you can ask if anyone has any questions.
Ma'am, I had one question. One ma'am had messaged, she had posted a message. She wanted to do really very well. She wanted to interact with all her students, but unfortunately, she is not able because of poor net connection and also economically deprived children. So anything can be done for that? Any solution?
See, I think maybe if audio, suppose, or if there is a cluster of students together, if you have one cluster of students in an area who can probably get connected to each other, probably if social distancing and keeping all those norms together, they can assemble somewhere and then the teacher can convey or have a 1 hour session or a 2 hour session per week, then move on to another area where there is a cluster of children, then have an audio system so that the teacher can communicate. Many times just listening to the voice and knowing the face that is talking to them, I think it makes a big difference. I think in one of our interactions, one of the gentlemen really said it so beautifully that, by speaking to them and by mentoring them, it brought a lot of difference. He even mentioned that they were even feeling free to speak to the teacher rather than their parents. That is very true. So if you can cluster to them, put them together in a group, if one area or one district, if they can come together and the teacher can just make an audio presentation itself. Or if you have links, suppose you have other institutions in the vicinity, probably you will convey or you will mail or you will send information to them to collect these students and probably make a presentation to them or do a small activity with them, so that on behalf of your organization or on behalf of you as a teacher, it is being conveyed to them. Communication is what every child is looking forward to at this COVID-19 time. So this will be an alternative, because otherwise, even if you provide a mobile or you provide a laptop or an iPad, it's not going to help them in any way. So you'll have to look at, like we have street plays, we have music, we have cinema that can be played to them. Maybe you should look at these kind of alternatives. It will say that your teacher asked me to do this for you. So we, as a country, we are connected. Definitely we can do. If any institution from anywhere in down south asks me to do something on behalf of them, I will definitely open up my campus or my whichever room or auditorium I can, and I will do it on their behalf. Today, I think COVID-19 has taught us that one lesson, and we have to rise to that occasion. Yeah. I hope you got an answer.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other queries?
So any other sharing from the participants? You can give your inputs also, or any ideas.
Yeah. See, I think I don't think there's anybody. Any other queries? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
There is one more thing which I feel should be done. Parents must educate their kids that they should be part of now new learning regime. I mean, I've seen some of the parents either, not motivating their kids to be participative in the online programs. They have those gadgets, mobiles, everybody PC, everybody is having that. But still, they are not coming on the platform. Like WebEx meeting is there, 30% students will not come, not participate. So that is the role which parents should perform. The rest, I think teachers are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. So I think every institution also has a catalog of the details of the parents. So I think if the head of the institution or the head of the department can give it to the respective faculty or the teacher, then you should probably send an SMS saying that I request you to motivate your child to be at this time, since attendance is important. Sometimes we'll have to use technical terms to make it compulsory for them, because they're not used to this online kind of communication. They're not used to this digital relationship between teacher and student. So probably one SMS or one motivating statement from you, or sometimes a little strong, like, attendance matters, because this attendance
that we all do.
Yeah, it gets calculated for end semester, things like that. Probably that's the only way you can push them to do it. See, one thing is coming from, I started my career in Women's Christian College, and then I, taught in another college and then came into NIFT. So one thing that I have seen, that there are no barriers in life. COVID-19, of course, taught us great lessons. There are no barriers in life. When I joined NIFT, I thought it was all glamour and people of a different planet. But then as the years went by and as I interacted with students, I found that there are no boundaries. And empathy is very, very important. Then I think you'll be lost as a teacher. And of course, taking on the leadership role, today I have 4 tribal children from the Javad Hills, which is in the vicinity of Tamilnadu, Chennai. We have 4 tribal children. We have a deaf and dumb child. Many of you will wonder how a deaf and dumb child can study in a fashion institute. But we make it possible. We communicate, we make her understand. There are peer groups to help her. There are class mentors and monitors who help her. We have a cancer survivor with one leg amputated. He comes, his mother is a daily wage earner. and they live in a slum. So I provided him with a laptop for the online classes. And anything that he requires, he just has to text me and I will give it to him. So I think the world is small. Empathy is the only thread that can hold us with our students, our students are our children. And if we are empathetic, imagine if a deaf and dumb child can study in a Nift, in a design institute. Imagine a cancer survivor with one leg amputated who is actually doing a technology course.
In fact, there are barriers only in our mind, nowhere else.
Exactly. So I think when we evolve as teachers, there's no medium. If you have empathy, there's no medium. Whether it's technology or whatever it is, there's no medium. There is no gender differences and there is no socio-economic barriers. So I think it's been a beautiful discussion with each one of you. Thank you for being participative, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, Auxilium College.
Thank you, ma'am. Padmavati, ma'am, you raised your hands. You want to speak?
Yeah, I'd like to listen.
Padmavati, or by mistake? I think she's done by mistake, I guess. So Shashi Singh, you want to speak?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I'm Dr. Shashi, and ma'am, for the same purpose what you have just addressed, we used to have a parents professor meet occasionally, like twice in a year or once in a year. We used to meet parents, because once the parents enroll their students in the institution, they never turn up to the college.
Actually, yeah.
And if there is any occasion like youth fest or something which is happening in the college, we used to call the participants parents so that they can get interested in what is happening and how the children's growth is going on. It's a very common concept which was there in the school, but we have adapted few things in the college also. That is very fruitful.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, no, I think that's really important. It's very, very important. So it breaks the generation gap as well, and parents also know for what they are spending, what their child is doing, who are their teachers, who are their peer groups. It's very, very important. Yeah, that's very encouraging.
And just to add what she said right now, it is, in context of one of my friend who's living in New Jersey, he told me that his small kids have been given virtual tours or virtual parties also online. So that is the way they're engaging those kids. So there can be a number of innovative ways where students can be engaged in all those activities.
Yes, yes.
Whether it is, the PG or UG level students also.
Yes. Actually, we are doing many of the sessions on Instagram. Like one of the visuals I showed you on the cycle is one Mr. Uday, and he's been doing some art classes. I think if you come to our Instagram page, probably I'll share it. So all of
yes,
you can
share that.
I'll share it with you. And so if, when he's got his art classes happening, probably any child, it can be a school child, it can be an architecture or an engineering or even a pharmacy student, you can participate in that. So I think that will be really useful. Yeah. In fact, just to keep, we have 1,200 students in Nift Chennai. And just to keep them all bound together, I had asked my faculty to come out with an idea of an art competition. And it was called Outrageous. And in Outrageous, we gave the theme as COVID-19. You can make a dance, you can make a poster, you can make a small film, you can make any kind of thing, a product. And yesterday was the last day. I believe from today morning onwards, my faculty has not even finished uploading all the number of participants that have come up. And then we segregated into present students and alumni. See, ultimately, when we are talking about amalgamation and we are talking about jobs and we are talking about new job creations, we definitely need our alumni. They need to give you a helping hand. So this competition was divided into two segments, Outrageous 1 and 2. One is for the students presently studying in the campus. 2 is for the alumni. And then we gave fabulous prize money. First prize 10,000, second 7,500, and third prize 5,000. And we've got a fabulous response. Some of the short documentary that they have made, I also have it. People have sent it to me in WhatsApp. And it's really nice. See, it engages your students. It keeps the communication. It builds the trust. It sustains so much of emotional, strength in these children. So it's very, very important. It's much more than the textbook or the finishing of an exam. Our relationship with our students is just not examination, textbook and teaching. It's much, much more than that, you know. So I will share the Insta page thing with link with all of you. Probably give it to the Auxilium College and they will share it with you.
But on the contrary, ma'am, some people are even criticizing the teachers.
Yeah.
Some people are criticizing the teachers. They say how they are teaching. They interfere in their child's classes,
Yeah.
and they observe the classes and say how they are teaching. This should not be done. This should not be done. I say to those people or those parents, you should appreciate the efforts they are taking. Some people and even in schools, some teachers are not tech savvy and they are still taking the classes. They are putting their efforts.
Yeah,
But,
in fact, I think there is also a WhatsApp video which talks about a doctor who's talking
yeah,
about yeah.
the doctor replies to those parents and said that if I am doing a surgery in front of you, of your child, then I am even not able to do it properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Robert, I think,
Yes, Dr. Robert.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we have to live with this, you know. We'll it's like I mean, if we counter the parents, then we are actually demotivating the child, or we are actually showing that we have loss of emotional control on ourselves. And
It's better to be on mute on these issues.
we have to put them on mute. And another thing is we are peripheral goddesses. According when you become a teacher, everybody thinks you're a god or a goddess. You can't speak of your problems or your pains or your infirmities to a parent or to a child or to a peer group. You're expected to be the best. So you cry, so you'll have to cry in the bathroom and smile in the hall. Come to the living room and smile. So I think it's all part of it. But with all your experience, you know, you will overcome this. Madhu, I think just now was telling about this problem.
Yeah.
You will have the strength. Yeah, I think in the number of years that you work. See, I'm completing 30 years of being a teacher, of course, and now director.
Yeah.
And I think many things, many emotional traumas you learn to control by yourself. Many minuses you learn to smile and make it into pluses. I think that's our strength.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. I think I've answered everyone.
Dinesh?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for your wonderful session and also highlighting the people in the outside world that the change you brought in the Nift. So as you said, Nift means glamour and Nift means we in the outside people, we have in the mindset the Nift means something big. So entering in Nift means something big. So, but you shared a very good example that the inclusiveness of Nift. So that made us an opportunity to understand about the real world, the real change you just brought in your system. So thanks for doing that, and also thanks for engaging the audience over today. And I request the management of Auxilium College to propose a word of thanks. So let's end the session formally. One of the quickest session of the series.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Auxilium, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Dinesh.
Yeah.
Good evening. On behalf of the college and everyone, I thank Dr. Anitha, Mabel, Manohar, Professor and Director, Nift, Chennai. A teacher is the one who plants the seeds of knowledge, sprinkles them with love, and patiently nurtures their growth to produce tomorrow's dreams. Yes, a proactive teacher indeed is an effective teacher, was the crux of your sharing, ma'am, I think. Thank you, ma'am, for throwing lights on the importance of incorporating the real life scenario into teaching, making the students more empathetic, especially when we are faced with situations like COVID-19, and how to amalgamate studies with life situations in making them professionals. Ma'am, your session indeed was very inspiring, thought-provoking, and practical. It was so interactive that it kept the participants alive, alert, and attentive. Once again, thank you, ma'am, promising to move on together with our students to take India to greater heights. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, looking forward to work in the next sessions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.